This is the Transformers Galaxy Force Voyager class Starscream by Takara. Now this is a figure that is supposedly the Cybertron version of Starscream, but it was only available in the Japanese market under Takara's Galaxy Force GD line. Hasbro never released this actual figure for the Cybertron line. The conspiracy theory was they didn't want sales of this figure to interfere with the much more expensive, bigger, Supreme class Cybertron Starscream, which was readily available in the US market. For the Cybertron line, it was a lighter colored version of this figure. It was way bigger. It was huge. It had one sword on his arm and a blaster in his arm. It was the final form of Starscream during the show, but this was his form for most parts of the show, and it's a shame that it was only made available in the Japanese market. Now, this is not actually my figure. I want to thank my good buddy Robert for loaning me this figure to review. It's part of his personal collection, but unfortunately he had misplaced the Cyber Planet key, so we'll be using this knockoff Cyber Planet key for Starscream. And he's also missing a blaster cannon, a small blaster cannon pistol with a rocket that actually fires on a spring-loaded gimmick. So I do apologize, I'm not going to be able to show that, but I will be able to show off the gimmicks that this figure had. Now, Hasbro finally decided to make this mold available as a Toys R Us exclusive. Can you believe it? They recolored it, not exactly this color, but they recolored it in, I don't know, was it the Shattered Glass colors? It was dark color, dark maroon color, and they had it in a 2-pack with Vector Prime as a Toys R Us exclusive. It's like Hasbro has it out for this figure. They really did not want collectors in their area to get this mold. And then eventually in 2008, this figure was actually recolored and redecoed as Dirge in a 2-pack with Roadbuster. And Roadbuster used the deluxe class Cyber Defense, I think it was a Cyber Defense Hotshot mold. They recolored it to Roadbuster as a 2-pack. I remember I had that 2-pack back in the day. So yeah, a figure that was incredibly difficult to obtain, and I can't believe I have it right now, and I'm so excited to review this figure for you guys. Let's take a close look at the details of this Transformers Galaxy Force Starscream.
Prepare to be primers! It's all mine. The power is mine! It's mine at last. Power of Primus!
Head to toe, the figure stands at a whopping 17.5 centimeters tall, or about 6 7/8 inches tall. For comparisons, here he is with fellow Galaxy Force or Cybertron Voyager class Soundwave. Here he is with Galaxy Force Voyager class Vector Prime. This figure is now officially mine. My good buddy Robert had agreed to a trade for this figure for a couple of my newer figures, and I could not be happier. Oh my goodness, I'm so happy to add this figure in my collection. And they're both, I think, in the same class. I think they're both in Voyager class. And like I said earlier, these two were actually part of a Toys R Us exclusive set 2-pack done in different colors. Here he is with the War for Cybertron Trilogy Earthrise Voyager class Starscream. And wow, look at the differences. These are actually based off of Don Figueroa's G1 artwork of this guy, but you can see the evolution of Starscream from G1 to the Unicron Trilogy saga. These elements are still there, but wow. Just look at the contrast between these two figures. And probably the most important size comparison, here he is with the new Transformers Legacy United Voyager class Cybertron Universe Starscream. I've already done a review of this figure. You guys know how I feel about it. I thought it was an okay figure if it weren't for the poor plastic quality that this figure had. It is so much lighter. This thing weighs like double, triple as much as this thing. It is heavy compared to this thing, but as far as proportions go, I'll have to give it to this figure. He looks so much better. This guy looks so squat. I don't know, like Wolverine squat or Gimli from Lord of the Rings squat. The proportions are just, they're just a little bit off. Then this one, he's like more slender. This figure is just a lot of fun to pose around. This one has very limited articulation, which we'll talk about later. But sculpt-wise, obviously, this one is more accurate. This has a more massive sculpt, heavier, better plastic quality. I'm going to give it to this guy. But the only thing this thing does better is posability and proportion of the sculpt. I think this one wins it. But overall, as a figure, definitely the original is still the best. I mean, look at this. But, you know, I might have been too hard on this Legacy United Starscream figure. It does have its merit, and they really tried to be as faithful to the original material, but it just came down to execution. This one just had crappy plastic quality. Okay, so let's just do the gimmick now. This is, you can use any Cyberplanet key, and once you insert it on his back, and you just push it in, and out pops the Energon swords or Energon blades, which he uses to slice and dice the Autobot. So that's pretty cool. So this new Legacy United figure, not to be outdone, if you haven't seen my video review, he also has gimmicks. And look at this. No Cyberplanet. There is a Cyberplanet key slot for a teeny tiny Cyberplanet key, but it's really just for aesthetic and an homage, paying homage to the old material, the source material. But really, the gimmick is here. You flick the swords down. Wow, look at that. And then look at this, the shoulders, they go pop out to give him better form, I guess. Let me see if I can just, oh, removable swords, removable shoulder pads. I don't think that would beat this guy, but you know, sarcasm aside, this thing doesn't compare to the gimmick that this figure had. And it's a shame that Hasbro can't give us some form of spring-loaded pop-out automorph gimmick. I mean, that would have made this figure, I would have forgiven the crappy plastic quality this figure had if they had that gimmick. But sadly, this is what we get. And gimmicks and plastic quality were sacrificed for posability and proportion. So yeah, as far as articulation goes, the neck is on a swivel. There is no waist swivel, unlike the Legacy United version that had a cut right here in the middle. The shoulders can go in and out barely. Ratchets forward and backward 360. He's got elbow hinges that ratchet. That's about 90 degrees. That's about it for the upper torso. As far as the legs go, because of transformation, you can have him do the splits on ratchets, kick forward and backward, also on ratchets. He's got a thigh swivel, ratcheting hinged knees because of transformation. The feet can go up and down because of transformation. No rocker tilts. Rocker tilts were not a staple back in the day. So with limited articulation, there's really not a lot of poses you can do with this figure. It's a shame, but you know, they sacrificed articulation for a really awesome sculpt on this figure. So transformation, you want to go ahead and flip these tail fins backwards. Just tab them together. You want to go ahead and pop, or yeah, they just untab very easily. Cover that head sculpt with his torso. And then the legs. What you want to do is you want to pop the spikes from his toes, the X23 spikes. And then go ahead and fold up the heel spurs. Fold down the feet. You want to fold up the entire leg up to the side of his torso. So to do so, you're going to do it this way. Rotate and fold it in. And just underneath the cockpit. Okay? That was clear as mud. Okay, go ahead and do that. Again, rotate and just tab underneath the cockpit. Come on. Okay. Go ahead and tab the toes together. And then finally, this arm, unpeg. And you're gonna swivel that shoulder. Go ahead and unpeg. And then swivel. Weren't as great as well. Or very, very simple. He's in his Cybertronian starship jet mode, just like that. I mean, under a minute, you can transform him. And he's got these wheels that allow you to roll. And he looks very solid, very, very massive in his alt mode. Now, just to give you a size comparison, let's bring back Vector Prime. Oh my goodness. I mean, this guy is really huge. just a massive, massive figure. I mean, come on. But they do scale very, very nicely. If you want to see him with a more modern jet mode, let's bring in Cyclonus. Oh yeah, definitely bigger. Still bigger, more massive than the standard Voyager class figure. And then finally, the most important comparison. Here we have the Legacy United Pipsqueak Starscream. I mean, come on. Come on. Really, Hasbro? Did you honestly think that we would think this was way better than the original? I mean, seriously. It just looks like crap compared to this one. This one would totally decimate and annihilate this one. This one is like a ghetto version of the original. I mean, really, it's like they didn't even try with this one. Look how solid this thing looks compared to this one. And yeah, let's show off the gimmicks, see if it will improve things. I mean, okay, so yeah, that's his blades. And let's see how this one does it. Just plug in the key, you knock off key, and boom! Oh, wow, look at that. Even the blades look a heck of a lot better than the new more modern version. The colors are even, I think, more accurate than the dark purple. Definitely, you would slice this guy to bits. Even the cockpit, look at that. Look at the way this thing has been sculpted with the guns and just everything about it. You can't beat the original, man. Really, it was a good effort, I give you that, but it just pales in comparison with the original. And so some final thoughts on this Galaxy Force Starscream. I think it's an awesome, awesome figure. I mean, the old figures back in 2004, 2005 were just amazing. The quality was just spectacular. Great sculpt, very, very accurate to how they appeared on the show. The question is, which one did it better? Arguably, this new Legacy United version poses very well. He's a lot of fun to play with, but the quality of this thing just absolutely sucks compared to this one. Sculpt-wise, quality-wise, and just the sheer mass of it, just the massiveness in comparison with this one just pales in comparison to how awesome this old vintage figure is. So if you're a big fan of this Starscream character, I would recommend you hunt down the Takara version. It wasn't Takara Tomy back then, it was Takara. They produced the Galaxy Force line of Cybertron figures. This was exclusive to the Japanese market. This was GD03 Galaxy Force Voyager class Starscream. I suggest you hunt this figure down. It is worth every penny you're gonna pay. Just don't pay too much for it. I think 60 bucks, maybe 75 bucks. It's price ceiling for this figure. If you just need a cheap ass, non-expensive Cybertron Starscream on your shelf that's a lot of fun to play with, and you're not going to be worried about breaking it or, you know, scratching it or damaging it. You just fool around with it and play around with it, then the Legacy United is for you. I think this thing is going for a clearance in some shops. This thing goes for about $30 to $40. I wouldn't pay 40 bucks for this. I think $30, $35 should be maximum for this one. That's standard retail. I think the vintage figure is still so much better. It is still the superior figure between the two. I'm gonna give this figure a 9.5 out of 10. It is an amazing, amazing figure. It's a shame that Hasbro decided not to release it for the US market, but you know, who knows? Maybe they'll reissue some of these older figures down the line. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think of this Transformers Cybertron Galaxy Force GD03 Voyager class Starscream. Hit that notification bell so you never miss out on any of my latest video reviews. And if it's your first time here, please subscribe. Thanks for watching.